Over the last several months, you've heard from thousands of our folks across the country, calls, letters, and today I'm happy to announce that we've got over 36 states represented in this room today, people that flew in at their own expense from all over the country, small businesses. They came to Washington, D.C. to express their concern for where our industry is heading. This time, I'd like to introduce Leo Guthart, our industry spokesman for today.
I'd like to thank you all for taking your time this morning to come and listen to our position. There are three basic points that I want to emphasize. One, the RBOCs pose an immediate threat to our industry. Two, allowing them in is not in the interest of the American consumer or the United States of America. Three, the situation is urgent. Legislation is needed now. 1993 will be too late for us. The RBOCs have a simple position. They argue generally that the United States of America will be disadvantaged if they continue to be restricted. They say we'll be deprived of a world-class communications network. Their argument is very nonspecific and is rooted in this very simplistic position that they won't be able to innovate and that the country will be disadvantaged. And on the other hand, there are opposing arguments that are fundamentally rooted in anti-monopoly economic theory. But some of the other industries that are opposing the RBOCs are very large and powerful themselves. So what there really is a clutter of arguments with large, powerful groups opposing one another, and the arguments become blurred very easily. In contrast, our industry is a small one, and we can be crushed while this debate goes on. I'd like to explain to you the special differentiating factors about our industry that make us unique from the others. And after you've heard our case, I hope you'll agree that these conditions which are unique to our industry are sufficiently strong and work to the benefit of the American consumer so as to make us deserving of the special pro-competitive amendment that we seek now. Now, who are we? What do we do? What are we? The security industry is made up of typical small American businesses. There are 13,000 small companies in our industry that employ 125,000 people right here. We're the people in your districts who install, service, monitor, and respond to alarm systems in homes and businesses. And while there are some larger companies in our industry, the typical company in our industry, the typical one of the 13,000, employs less than 10 people, operates 3 vehicles, occupies 4,000 square feet in town, has a loan at the local bank, and works closely with the local police and fire departments. We pay local, state, and federal taxes, and in a typical metropolitan area, there are several hundred of us that compete and work to provide burglary and fire protection on a local level. Question: how are we doing for the American consumer? As you might expect in a highly competitive industry, prices have been driven way down and service offerings all the way up. Over the past decade, the typical cost of a residential alarm system has dropped from about $2,000 to more nearly $600. And in many instances, alarm systems sell for $195. Security systems are already down in price at the range of most Americans. Competition in our industry has already brought that about. And at the same time as our industry has brought prices down, we've added new services and we've enhanced our offerings. And all of this results from a competitive industry with a tremendous internal drive to use technology to bring about better services at lower costs, and to offer a wide range of choices to the consumer. Let me give you just a quick example of some of the new services that we've introduced in addition to burglar and fire protection. Take the problem of latchkey children. Systems now provide protection for latchkey children who are alone at home while their parents are still at work. Or medical response systems for elderly people who want to live alone at home in dignity, but with peace of mind that if they do have a problem, they will be able to summon help. Or systems for detaining prisoners at home, where the crime doesn't justify complete incarceration, and systems now help to reduce the burdens on the overcrowded prison systems. This is pure competition at work. Consumers enjoying better and better services at lower and lower prices while more Americans are gainfully employed. The small businesses in our industry have already delivered these benefits of pure competition. And it's common sense that these benefits will continue so long as this competitive environment is maintained. But this highly efficient environment will easily be disrupted if a huge monopoly enterprise with clear-cut patterns of engaging in cross-subsidization, overcharging, and various competitive abuses is allowed to enter, which it can do right now, today, and to compete unfairly without effective restriction or legislative enforcement. Allowing these monopoly enterprises in will only lead our efficient industry to divert its resources to legal battles in the courts and the PUCs, and away from providing better and less costly services. The danger to our competitive structure makes the need for our pro-competitive amendment clear and urgent. But there are other compelling reasons why we're deserving of action from Congress. We are not at all like the other industries that oppose the bills. We're very, very different. We are totally dependent on the local telephone exchange. That's one major difference. Nearly 100% of the alarm signals that we transmit to police and monitoring agencies are sent via the local exchange. We can't function without them. We're totally dependent on them, and they can cripple us if they want to. I'd like to try to bring this home with some specific examples. Let's take a company in Galveston, Texas, Alert Alarm Systems, run by a fellow named Rip Kaler. He services 8,000 homes and businesses in the Galveston area. Since virtually all the alarm systems signals that Rip transmits are sent on that local telephone exchange, he can be put out of business instantly if the telephone company simply changes its interconnection protocols so as to render existing alarm equipment ineffective. It's easy to do, and it has been done. Give you another example, Michigan. If Michigan Bell has the ability to characterize the telephone usage on each and every one of its telephone lines. The information is called CPNI, Customer Proprietary Network Information. There are supposedly some safeguards about using this proprietary information, but we think they don't work. But if Michigan Bell wanted to use the CPNI, and there are already documented examples of their improperly using CPNI, they could simply create a hit list and pirate the entire customer base of a company in Lincoln Park, Michigan, called Actron Security Systems, who again services 8,000 customers in his local area. Abuses of this kind have occurred and continue to occur. They're not future. Let's go to Boston. Small company, American Alarm Company outside of Boston. Consider what would happen if the RBOC was offering an alarm service and a new homeowner or business owner wanted one, but the very first thing he would do before he ever got around to buying an alarm system is he would call his local telephone company to get